Hello and welcome to group number 2 in Marketing 230's Mercedes-Benz presentation. The presentation is going to be done by Caden Bislin, Charles Dunn, Jack Baumeister, Kevin Perfleet, and Sawyer Kilala. Next.
All right, so I'm going to start everybody off with the history of Mercedes-Benz. That started in 1886 when Carl Benz created the first internal combustion engine in a car. And it was funded by his wife, Bertha, actually, who was a pioneer in the automotive industry herself. Using this patent, Gottlieb Daimler and Wilhelm Maybach, who were also German engineers, turned it into a stagecoach with a petrol engine. And using this new and improved version, Bertha Benz was actually the first one to take like any sort of long distance trip. She went over 100 miles round trip. And people were kind of like freaked out by it when they saw it. They thought it was the devil's work or something like that, which is pretty funny. And they used that new and improved model and first marketed it in 1901. Next slide. Now we're moving on to the next couple decades, where Emil Jelinek, who was a racing enthusiast and automobile entrepreneur, trademarked a model called Mercedes, who he named it after his daughter. And because he was a racing enthusiast, he got into racing and basically dominated all other vehicles, all other people, and had great success with mega rich families such as the Rothschilds, Rockefellers, Morgans. And so that really helped them kind of garner their luxury brand. The name Mercedes-Benz finally came into fruition in 1926 with the merging of Benz's companies and Daimler's companies. And the reason they kept Mercedes was just because it was synonymous with just winning, and it was basically famous by that point. Go on to the next. Now we kind of move into a much darker period where Mercedes was the most popular vehicle in Nazi Germany, with Adolf Hitler actually driving them himself with a few improvements such as bulletproof glass. In the late 30s, the company shifted to making mostly military equipment, which included diesel trucks, aero engines, boats, tanks. And by 1942, the company had basically stopped producing cars altogether to focus on the military equipment. And by 44, more than half of the employees were forced laborers, prisoners of wars, or concentration camp detainees. Following the war, many years of retribution were dealt to those families of the concentration camps and prisoners of war. After that, we move into post-war to present, where the bulk of business is back to being automobiles. In 1958, following a deal with Studebaker, they kind of got their foot in the door in the American market. Studebaker was a automaker in America in the 50s and into the 60s. And even though they eventually went out of business, Mercedes already had their foot in the door and were an innovative leader in safety and technology, such as motion sensors, crash testing, self-driving cars, things like that. And that leads to them being the 4th most profitable automaker.
All right, so I'm going to talk about how they help the earth. So basically what happens is they came out with, when flex fuel started, Mercedes wanted to jump on it just as any other automaker would. So they introduced their first flex fuel vehicle in 2016. So the reason that they wanted to do this was so that they were on the forefront of greener emissions, of a healthier world and a healthier future. Following this, they started their hybrid line, okay? When they took their hybrid line, they basically improved on what was already there. So they took the existing hybrids, made the batteries and the engines smarter and better. So after that, they went to what they call electric intelligence. Now this is more of the future of the company. This is where they're going. So basically what they're thinking is they're gonna have the best electric vehicles out there. And I believe it. They it's not out yet. They're very, very close. This picture is actually a model that they were testing in the winter to see how well or how badly their batteries held up to the competitors.
All right. Next, we're going to talk about the current marketing plan for Mercedes-Benz, and we'll start off with their brand promise. It's based around 6 words, and it's think and act like a luxury brand, and focus on profitable growth, expanding their customer base by growing sub-brands and reaching bigger target markets across the globe, embracing customers and growing reoccurrent revenue, leading in electric drive and car software, and lowering the cost base and improving the industrial footprint. Next slide, please. So to focus on their strategic successful planning, they like to focus on terms, move, perform, transform. Moving, they want to move to electrical vehicles in a luxury automobile, and also driving efficiency, as well as moving to carbon neutrality. They are also trying to sustain their business by driving profitability and future cash flows, while developing strategic partnerships across the globe, and transforming their own business by focusing on their workforce and investing in them. And their current target market are Generation X and the millennials, accessing that lower generation, middle and upper class, since it is a luxury good, and electric vehicles. They're trying to break into the market and take as much market share as possible. Next slide, please. And to achieve this, they have 10 strategic pillars that support all aspects of this. As you can see, sustainability and climate protection, focused on the future. They're going to drive efficiency, which we'll see later, focusing on electrification, automation, and streamlining the digital services and platforms to provide the products straight to the consumer. And they're really focused on their culture integrity. It's the reason why they've been around for so long, and they're such a luxury brand, and they're known for that. Next slide.
Hello, everyone. I'm presenting the sustainability and ethics portion. So Mercedes has what they call Ambition 2039. Most countries want to be carbon neutral by 2050, but they are projected by 2039 for their company by way of improving their electrical vehicles and hybrids, invested in accessory businesses, and improving their factories. Next slide. So as far as the electrical vehicles and hybrids, they want to have more than 30 car and van plants making carbon neutral vehicles by 2022. Several electrical vehicles to be produced in 2022. They want approximately 25% of their sales to come from electric vehicles and hybrids by 2025, more than 50% of sales by 2035, and to have the entire fleet carbon neutral by 2039. Next slide. So part of how they're going to reach their carbon neutrality as far as their other businesses go, their accessories, is they have a wing of the company that's called Mercedes-Benz Energy GmbH, which is basically a subsidiary of the company, and this is the part that makes batteries. So they're in partnerships with other companies that make batteries, companies like CATL, and a company called Anditz, and specifically a company called Hydro Quebec. They have a $1 billion pledge, which is basically to spend $1 million in battery production, and a 20 billion euro pledge, which is basically to buy 20 billion euros worth of battery cells. Next slide. So as far as the factories go, They opened Factory 56 in 2020, September 2020, which is basically supposed to be the template of future factories. From the very beginning, it's built from recycled concrete. It functions on a carbon neutral power grid. They plan to occupy roughly 40% of the roof, but they also have solar panels and also have a system of reused batteries from their vehicles. And the factory is also very efficient, and they can integrate new models within days, which is very short for the automotive industry. So next slide. So the new factory, when they were opening, they wanted to make sure they had ethics in place from the very beginning. So they asked employees that were to work there which shift they wanted to work, where they wanted to work, and their coworkers that they wanted to work with. And they were able to grant approximately 85% of the employees' wishes. Seeing as how the company has people of all ages and genders, it's also designed for conveniency, because the vehicles are able to be moved into the most convenient positions. And next slide. That is the video. Okay, so
automobile production of the future. What should it look like? It is sustainable. It is digital, flexible, efficient, and above all, it has people as its focus.
All this is already reality. In Factory 56 at Sindelfingen, Mercedes-Benz most modern assembly hall in its global production network. Here, a diverse range of vehicles is produced fully flexible on the same line, adjusted on market demand. At first, the S-Class sedan and long wheelbase version, then also the Mercedes-Maybach S-Class and the all-electric EQS. At the same time, efficiency is increasing compared to the previous S-Class assembly by 25%. This has been made possible, among other things, by wide-scale digitalization and by the flexible structure of the production process with tech lines and driverless transport systems. The two tech lines bring together all the complex plant technologies. They serve to avoid fixed points in the assembly process. Flexibility improves. When the new models are added, conversion work is easy to carry out in the other areas of the assembly hall. In the tech lines, the traditional production line is replaced by driverless transport systems. This allows a switch from continuous to cycled operation. The vehicle remains in one position, appropriate for automated activities such as the installation of the roof. If a new vehicle model necessitates the integration of an extra piece of equipment, it is only necessary to change the route of the automated guided vehicle. In addition to moving the vehicle bodies around, the more than 400 AGVs are used to transport assembly materials to the line in pre-commissioned shopping carts. The new full flex marriage station, where the chassis and the body are joined together. This also consists of modular stations that can be quickly adapted to accommodate different vehicle types and drive systems. Factory 56 uses the digital Mercedes-Benz ecosystem MO360 for the first time to its full extent. It comprises a family of interconnected software applications, which use real-time data to support vehicle production worldwide. Quality and efficiency data can be very simply retrieved from anywhere. Thus, MO360 ensures maximum transparency and helps to optimally control the production process. Machines and production equipment are interconnected, so the vehicles can be tracked with pinpoint accuracy. One important basis for this, the company's own high-performance WLAN and 5G network. The employees are provided with precise information on the vehicle in front of them. Only the tools that they actually need are activated. The documentation process, too, has been digitalized. The paperless factory has become reality, saving about 10 tons of paper each year. Resources are conserved also in other ways. Thanks to a holistic sustainability strategy, the factory of the future consumes about 25% less energy than a conventional assembly facility. Right from the start, it is operating on a CO2 neutral basis, making it a zero-carbon factory. The power produced by the facility's own photovoltaic system is enough to cover about 30% of its annual power requirements. Some of the power flows into an innovative direct current network. It is used, for example, to operate the ventilation system. A stationary energy bank based on vehicle batteries is likewise connected to the network. It acts as a buffer for excess solar power. Factory 56 also features an innovative water separation system. Together with a green roof, currently in the making, this system will help improve the interior climate in the building. Blue sky architecture with large windows ensures that plenty of daylight gets into the assembly shop. This saves energy and creates a pleasant working atmosphere. The employees work at ergonomically optimized assembly stations. By means of rotating overhead conveyors or mobile platforms, the vehicles can be moved into the most favorable working position. Factory 56. Flexible, digital, efficient, and sustainable. The factory of the future for Mercedes-Benz. Already a reality at the Sindelfingen plant. State-of-the-art automobile production for exciting products.
Automobile production of the
Okay, one last aspect. Mercedes-Benz has a full disclosure of their environmental impact to the Carbon Disclosure Project. So they want to show that they're good players as far as their new factory goes. So they also offer the Daimler Green Finance Framework, which through which they offer green bonds and green loans. And they use those loans and bonds basically to turn their facilities more green throughout the world. And they also offer an annual green finance investor report on the green bonds and green loans. Okay, finished.
All right, now we're moving into the marketing mix. And currently, it's broken down into product. Product is luxury cars, advanced commercial trucking, a stylish lifestyle brand, and a high-quality engineering. Their price is a luxury good, clearly, and they also have different product lines that they are able to hit different target markets. They are trying to lower the entry pricing for younger generations through those segmented product lines. As mentioned just before, in-house financing as well. Promotion, they have a strong brand name and history. Their style and personality marketing is known across the globe, and they've been improving their digital buying experience, trying to get with the times, especially because of COVID-19. And their social media marketing is pretty awesome. You can see it everywhere, as you can see influencers at big award shows driving Mercedes. And they have a focus on the millennial and Generation Z generations. And their place, they have strategic partnerships across the globe in Asia, North America, South America, Europe, where they can leverage different product lines. And next slide, please. And the final aspect of their current marketing plan is their SWOT analysis. Currently, their strengths are they have a strong engineering and patent technology, as you can see in the recent video with their Factory 56. They're an established luxury brand, and they're financially strong and have been around for a very long time. Their weaknesses, they have intense competition in the luxury market and the electrical vehicle market, COVID-19, an aging consumer base. Their opportunities are electric vehicles, automation, younger generations, and developing and emerging markets. And their threats, the increased cost of goods sold from high technology luxury products, especially in the automation and electric vehicles, and BMW, their highest competitor. Next.
So I'm going to talk about the competitor analysis of our presentation. So for competitors overall for Mercedes, there's a wide range. There's Audi, Porsche, Lexus, Bentley. But for this presentation, we chose to go with BMW. They tend to have very similar marketing strategies in terms of having online sales, luxury sort of brand, and kind of that transition to EV technology. But BMW does have a lower price point relative to most Mercedes vehicles, which can be kind of shown here on this. Oh, actually, that didn't update, but that BMW does have a larger share of luxury vehicles in the United States compared to Mercedes, just by about 1.3%. Next slide. So for the three dimensions of the marketing strategy for BMW, they are starting to focus on more personalized sales in terms of online markets as well, letting their customers customize both the interior, the exterior features inside the vehicle, as well as also focusing on more electronic vehicles, such as the X7 and the i4, both shown here, with the i4 being a completely electronic vehicle and the X7 being a hybrid. Again, luxury vehicles, and a partner interview made this year, it's actually been said that by 2023, they wish to double their electronic sales, and to this year, they wish to have 13 electronic vehicles, completely fully electronic vehicles. Next slide. In terms of comparison, similarities, again, they are both companies are working towards EV-based technology. Almost actually every car company like Tesla, Porsche as well are looking to do that as well. And the personalized sales, looking to have more customizability, and also with COVID in mind, having an online purchase system is really great for both companies and what they share. And the differences, BMW has a stronger handle on EV-based technology, cheaper vehicles as well, while Mercedes has a more luxury brand for themselves. In terms of what Mercedes can adopt from BMW, increased investment in EV-based technology and online sales, especially during the COVID season, is very important. Possibly look for partnerships with other companies to incorporate more electronic and also cheaper vehicles for their customers, and also seek to have an EV-based vehicle or more complete EV-based vehicles by 2030 before any other company.
Well, that's it to our Mercedes-Benz presentation, and I hope you learned a lot, and we can't wait to tell you more about the future.